There's an official, new, behind-the-scenes featurette for Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, there's not a lot to it in terms of new content. It's mainly there to really hammer in this idea that Rebirth is a return to the roots of the franchise, and to show off some admittedly very pretty looks at the river rafting and Tyrannosaurus Rex swimming scene. Now, I love the look of this, not only because it's pulling from the novel, but because the landscape, terrain, foliage, coloration of it all is also very classic Jurassic in a way we haven't seen in decades now. That said, very pretty, but nothing particularly new or exciting. What is new, however, is this scene right here. Here we have 5 characters: Zora Bennett, Henry Loomis, Duncan Kincaid, Martin Krebs, and Beckia Sylvain, all sprinting down a beach as the tide rolls in. Behind them is their boat, the same one seen in the trailer on an expedition into the waters around the island. And it's worth noting this is the smaller boat, more suited for military or indeed pharmaceutical mercenary expeditions. Now, the boat looks a little bit weird here, but I think I know why. This is the same boat, you can tell by the red that then cuts into black, and that's the bit that sort of goes under the water. You've got the red railings, you've got the white curved triangular shape painted on the back. But most of the boat is missing, and it doesn't look torn in half, it looks literally sliced in half on a straight line. If this was presented in the film as is, you wouldn't believe it was a beached or destroyed boat. It looks more like a little tower or something than a boat, really. What I think this is simply a boat segment that they've got to hand as part of production, and what they'll do is they'll expand the rest of the boat outwards with CGI in post-production, so that the rest of the boat is pointing out to the left here, destroyed, torn apart, with equipment boxes flung out and stranded on the rocks nearby. On the right hand side, you can even see this very slim dash of blue on the right hand side of the boat box, as I shall now be calling it. Perhaps a blue screen to be used for such future CGI enhancements. And that saves them obviously actually destroying a boat. They can just take a modular piece of the ship and extend it as need be for various scenes. With that out of the way though, let's talk about blood. Blood? Gallons of the stuff. The most blood we've seen in the franchise for a long time. Now, that's not to say that's inherently a good thing, but I do think it gives the film yet more of that classic Jurassic Park feel, and calls into mind for me the bloodied water of the Lost World Jurassic Park waterfall sequence. Regardless, it's a lot of blood, and more interestingly, if you look at this section in particular, wouldn't you say it looks like a footprint? That's a fairly clear triangular shape coming inwards towards the heel on the right hand side, towards the water, and 3 large prominent toes spraying out from there. What large semi-aquatic creature had 3 large claws like this? Oh yeah, Spinosaurus. We'll hazard a guess as to what all this means in just a moment, but putting all this together is interesting because the blood is already there. The crimson footprints lead out of the ocean to the left towards assumedly more beach or the forest itself. Something, the Spinosaurus I believe, has already left the sea. So why are the group running? They're running perpendicular to the bloodstains. They're not running away from where the blood would be. They're not running towards where the bloodstains went. They're running sort of across them. Whatever left those bloody footprints has gone in a different direction entirely. I'm not sure I have a fantastic answer for this, but we'll hazard a guess. I don't think it's the dead parasaur we've been seeing, because I'm pretty sure that's taking place during the river rafting sequence later on. I don't think one of the Spinosaurs has died here, because I'm pretty sure the Mosa and Spino scene is going to take place after this, and the 3 Spinosaurs will survive until the finale. And it's unlikely to be the Mosa itself for the same as that very first reason. It could be an injured Mosa, but I don't think the Mosa is dead. It also looks like too much blood to be human, and I would suggest that it forming a footprint doesn't make much sense if somebody's been killed by a Spinosaurus. If the Spinosaurus had blood about its jaws and its head, it wouldn't drip in the water in this footprint sort of shape. But I will not write off the possibility entirely that this is the other mercenary in the Lego set, the blonde lad who's playing Atwater. I don't think it is, but I'll say it's a possibility. But all told then, I don't think anything actually dies here. I think the bloody footprint suggests that the thing leaving the footprint has itself been injured. This is the kind of thing you see a lot in action and horror films, wherein a cut on the body leads to blood pooling around the concave of the feet, and therefore causing bloody footprints. Here's my speculative personal hypothesis. They go out in the small boat to attempt to retrieve the Mosasaurus DNA. On the way there or back, the boat collides with one of the Spinosaurs and injures it in the process. This bleeding Spinosaurus retreats to the island, whilst the other two, angered by this, tear into the vessel, eventually causing it to become stranded on the beach and the rocks, and leaving the crew, clearly soaked here, they've been in the water, to wash up on the beach nearby, or to clamber out of the wreckage of the boat. When they wake, the Spinosaurs, maybe still tearing into that boat, spot them and charge at them across the beach, leading to this chase sequence. I still think Outwater might die in this scene, but I don't think it's his blood. Now, I don't see anything else that super fits, but obviously we're working with very limited context at this point in time, but I'd be very curious to hear your own theories. So do let me know in the comment section down below if you've got another way that pieces together the puzzle of the boat, the sprinting away from the boat, the blood, and the direction of the blood. I think the directionality of that bloody footprint is what makes this really interesting. It's a curious little puzzle. Give me your thoughts, and I will see you lovely folks very, very soon. Thank you so much for joining me, and make sure you subscribe for the latest Jurassic World Rebirth news, speculation, theories, ramblings. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye.